I mentioned it in passing. Step one on the SLAM map actually has got at least 5 times more the power of any of the others. And the reason for that is because people need to know what problem they're solving for. And it's got 3 subparts for it. And I'm going to go all in this, and I'm going to use my space, the aging space, as an
Yep.
example. And I know you and I have talked about this, Roxy, before.
Yep.
Take the older adult market, the 50 plus. It's 115 million people in the US right now. So you can't really treat that as one monolithic whole. It's not a pejorative whole. You know, giving them labels like boomers and seniors doesn't help. It reduces it a bit, but it doesn't help. It makes them gigantic. So the trick I always think with the unmet need is to understand, have a hypothesis about something. There's a pain point out there or something that people need to gain. But the real question is which people, which tribe within that population is the one that cares the most. And you can define that demographically or psychographically or in other ways. So it could be, I'm just going to focus on females. I'm going to focus on people in their 70s. I'm going to focus on people that are tall or short. It really doesn't matter, but have a basis to go and reduce the size of the population so that they're reachable. And hopefully they're the ones with their hair most on fire, to use that same phrase again. So you can build a customer persona around that person.
Yeah.
Going all in on that is the game of entrepreneurship for me, because I think getting to a small tribe, and counterintuitively, the smaller it gets, the better it is going to help you so much later, because your capacity to sell to it is going to be so much easier. And as you get later in terms of the SLAM map, step 2 is build your team around that. Well, you're recruiting your team on the basis of that particular beachhead market, that particular persona, and their knowledge of that and how to reach it and how to engage with it. And then your value proposition in step 3 is going to be completely aligned then with what their needs are. And not just today, but in terms of your product pipeline as you're building out how it's going to iterate and improve as you get further down the path. You can add markets to it later. It may well be, taking something like the Facebook story, that, you can get to the world and get 2 billion people on your platform. But I can't think of a single startup that ever got there that quickly, even if it was a fairly viral growth curve. They always started with a narrow segment. In Facebook's case, it was first-year Harvard males. That was it. And they spent their first 6 months doing nothing but that, not trying to boil the ocean.